It's a blessing to me that we should meet. I'd like to thank each and a seat and everybody on their feet. A poetry story began around 2003 with light speed has us in the now live stream on Podbean, hitting it off like 80s melodies from Aretha and Tina T, all about the RESPECT that allows one to listen and another to speak. If we seek, can't we find the poet that's inside? Do you agree we should remember a poem doesn't have to rhyme? How it can be a full page or just a few chat lines? You may be grown or a child. You or I may have the words the divine uses to save lives. But however you spend your time, right now, we are live. Welcome and good evening. I am your host, Naquel, and you are in the place, the Pod Poets Lounge. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. And you already know this is the place where we have fun celebrating poets. That's the motto, and that's what it's about this evening. Happy that you could join us. Yeah, we're going to get right into it because our guests tonight have been patiently waiting. Justin Patton and Lynn Denise are our dope poets at play this evening. Justin, originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's now based in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a nationally touring spoken word artist, a blogger, author, a host, and founder of All Smilez LLC, the media company that also produces live shows. Other poet at play, Lynn Denise, is here. She is an entrepreneur. She's an author. We're going to talk a little bit about her book and work. She's a poet and a podcaster from Philly. So, yes, let's welcome them to the show. How y'all feeling tonight?
Feeling good.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an absolute pleasure. So thank y'all for accepting the invitation. I appreciate that. Really is a delight for me to bring poets together. So this is another joy for me, really, to have you two on the show. And you guys don't know each other, do you?
No. We're just meeting tonight.
So you're kicking it for the first time. That's what's up. The mission here is usually quite simple. I want us to relax, kick back, and just chill. How does that sound?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool,
All
man.
right.
I'm good at chilling, so I can do that.
All right, let's see our word then. We're going to get right into Spoet Trivia. Spoet Trivia, I'll explain how the game works. I invite you to play along. If you're here with us, vibing live in the chat, players are going to play 2 rounds of Spoet Trivia tonight. They win by earning the most points at the end of the second round. The first place prize is to get their work featured in Spilled Ink, which is inside of the Ink magazine. Looking forward to seeing who wins tonight, who gets to take advantage of that. We're going to start it off with the test question. The question is, how do chickens motivate their kids? Is it A, they egg them on? Is it B, they get them excited? Or is it C, crack them upside the head? What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with they egg them on.
Okay. We've got A for Justin. And what do you think, Lynn? What's your experience been?
I think it's A too, but for some reason I got it's something else.
Well, it's a test question, so there actually is no incorrect answer for this. Egg 'em on sounds good to me. Get them excited could work too. And if it's just a little resistant, hey, might crack them upside the head. I'm not condoning it, but I can see it happening. This is what some of the questions might be like. Multiple choice. We have chosen areas that you guys wanted to play in, and you chose puzzles and you chose listening. There are other categories such as knowledge, writing, and word games. The puzzle game I've chosen for you guys this evening is Guess It in a Minute. I'll tell you what that is a little later. Tongue Tangle Battle is back. And Give and Take. And for the listening category, it's going to be word count and write reverb. We can get started. Let's start with Guess It in a Minute, which will be from the puzzle category. So our players are going to be given a term. It's called the key term. And you have to guess the 5 related terms that are part of this key term, that are associated or related to this key term. And you have 1 minute to do so. So your points will double if you guess all 5 of the related terms. Now, some of these unknown terms that you're guessing, they could just be synonyms. Do you need a test, or do you want to get right into it?
We can get right into it.
We can do that, yeah.
Okay, let's get right into it. Here is your key term. Your key term is spring break, and I'm going to give you 1 minute.
And so terms related to spring break, or is it words or phrases?
It'll be words. All right, so let's see if this will give you a minute. And here we go. So you can tell me out loud what term.
Sun.
No.
Beaches,
Miami.
bikinis,
Beach.
vacation.
Vacation,
Sex. Naked.
Keep going. Nope. So far, just
Swimming.
vacation. We get this.
Planes.
Beer, alcohol, drugs.
No.
Oh man, what else is there for spring break?
Okay, time. That was pretty good. I think that was good because I think your guesses were really good.
Was that pretty good? We got one word. Was that pretty good?
I said
vacation.
Yeah, I felt like the quality of the guesses were good, even though you got one. So here were the others: college, party, travel, and Florida.
I can't believe I ain't saying none of those.
And I said Miami, but I ain't think of Florida.
Did you?
Yeah, I said Miami, but...
Okay. So that's 1 point for Justin. But I want to stay here, though. I want to stay here and give you guys the next word. And it's the key term. It's yo-yo. Now, I'm going to ask you to hold on before you start telling me the words, because whoever says the correct words first will get the points. I just have to listen closely. When I start the timer, though, that's when I want you to go ahead, okay? So just bear with me. Go.
String.
Kids.
Yes, that's one. No.
Up and down.
Yes, you got both of those.
Walk the dog.
No.
Cradle.
No. Good guess.
Plastic.
Sleep.
No.
Cheap.
Good guesses.
Frugal.
Around
Colorful.
the world. Toy.
No. Toy. You got that. Yes.
Trinket.
Present.
Toy.
Close. You're in the right area.
Gift.
Toy store.
In the right area. Toy. I'll give it to you. Toy. Lynn got it. And there's one more, but I think we are just up on time here. Spin.
Around.
Spin is the last one. I like that though. You got up and down in one shot. That was well done. That was well done, Lynn. Okay, we're tied up. It is 3-3. And what do you say we do one more of these? Actually, we'll do a couple more of these. Here we go. Your new keyword is downtown. So just let me cue up our clock.
What's that, downtown? Did you say downtown?
Downtown. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And time starts now.
City. Urban.
City and urban. Both of you got one here.
Skyscraper.
Metropolitan.
No.
Buildings. No. Nightlife.
No.
Work.
Party.
Stores. Movies.
Close. No.
Downtown.
Let's see. Buildings.
Got about 30 seconds.
Downtown.
Roads. Heavily populated.
Business.
Okay.
Food.
Roads was helping you out, as
Buses.
well as when you said store earlier was helping you out.
Public transit.
Close. About
Walking.
15 seconds.
Trains.
No.
MARTA. Well, this ain't Atlanta.
All right. That wraps up the minute.
That was a little
Got
hard.
a few extra seconds there. Yeah, this was downtown. So the word go, the word city, shopping. So when you touched on store, you're very close. Urban. And when you said road, it was very close to Main Street. So we have one more.
All right.
That's good. You guys are good. Here it is. It's a 4-letter word. Snob. Okay.
Stuck up.
Luxury. High society. High maintenance. Designer. Mean.
Snob. Angry. Jealous.
Lead.
Bougie.
Okay. No, not yet
Purses,
though. Close.
bags. Money, rich, wealthy.
Rich.
Lavish.
Expensive.
Yes.
Okay, no. On the right track.
Snob.
How might they feel about themselves, guys?
Insecure.
Confident. Cocky.
It's a C word.
Conceited.
Yes, Lynn got it. Okay. Something about nose in the air. What goes with that? Nose up.
Look down on people.
Better than.
About 5 seconds. Okay, that was a good round. That was good. So did you say better than? You did, right?
Better than.
Okay, you got that, man. Better. So better, rich, uppity, nose, conceited. I think you did say. Did you say nose in the air, Justin?
Yeah, I said nose in the air.
Okay. So you would get that too for nose.
And I said
right.
Rich. I said rich, wealthy.
So y'all are tied right now at 6 points each. Okay. So let's move on to a different game. But that was very good. I gotta say, that was really good. Very, very well played. Spring break, yo-yo, downtown, and snob. So how about we switch it up, though? Switch over to tongue tangle battle. So tongue tangle battle is where you both are going to challenge each other to see who can say these tongue twisters. So do you understand the game? Have you done this before? Like tongue twisters, like she sells seashells, those kinds of tongue twisters. You familiar with them?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I'll give you about 10 seconds to take a look at it first, and then I'll ask you to go ahead and start doing the 5 times each. And I'm really just listening for clarity.
So do we just say it one time, or do we continue to repeat it?
5 times each.
Okay.
You'll do it 5 times each. So that's the word. I'm going to go ahead and I'll start the timer. It's about 10 seconds.
10.
And then at the end
9,
of the
8,
timer,
7,
you go ahead and
6,
we'll start with
5,
you,
4,
Justin.
3, 2, 1.
Man, cool down, calm down, damn. 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 Man, cool down, calm down, damn.
All right. That's pretty good. You hit it off for me. Lynn? you are up. I'll go ahead and give you some time to just think it over in your head. Say it to yourself.
10,
then
9,
at the end of the
8,
10 seconds,
7,
just go for it.
6.
Now
5,
you might be able to do it
4,
faster than him.
3, 2.
He got all his words.
1.
Man, cool down, calm down, down. 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 Man, cool down, calm down, down.
All right. That was a good round. I think that was strong. Close. Justin got it though. Justin just got that one. Yeah. So, all right. He steps into the lead with 7 points. Well done, sir. And I've got another one coming at you. And Lynn, you'll have the opportunity to review this one and get first crack at it. I'm going to share it here. The words or the word phrase is 11 benevolent elephants. 11 benevolent elephants. Okay, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to start this timer. Go ahead, Lynn. You have 10 seconds to
9,
check it out.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
11 benevolent elephants. 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 11 benevolent elephants.
All
11.
right.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Oh, that was good though. That was good. I think you did well. You tripped up a little bit on the elephant. But overall, did your thing. I'm gonna start this timer for Justin.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
11 benevolent elephants. 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 11 benevolent elephants.
All right, I think that's 5. Oh boy, that was close. That was close. I think Lynn got it just by a bit. And I saw you laughing, Justin. We're not gonna understand it. I can understand it. And I think it tripped you up a little bit too, just laughing at it. That was a good one. That was a great one. You guys are keeping it interesting here. It's a very close game. I'll do another one of these tongue tangles. This one is 6 sticky skeletons. 6 sticky skeletons. Sticks. I already said sticks. Okay, that's why I'm hosting. Let's be clear about this. I should not attempt. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer here. And I think we had Justin. We had Lynn go first last time. So we'll have Justin. You can start this one off.
All right.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sticks. 6 sticky skeletons. 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 6 sticky skeletons.
That's 5. You got it. Nice, man. Good recovery. Okay. 10 seconds for
9,
you, Lynn.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
6 sticky skeletons, 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 6 sticky
That's
skeletons.
it, man. Oh my goodness. Say no more. You got it, Queen. That one goes straight to Lynn Denise. Knocked it out of the park. Okay. Let's do another one of these. All right. And then chit-chat a little bit. This is going to be the last one. It is 9. It's a long one. 9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts. 9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts.
Oh, this is gonna be.
All right, who wants to volunteer to go first on this one?
I'll try since he went, first
10,
last time.
9, 8,
All right,
7,
appreciate
6,
that.
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts. 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 9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts.
All right, that's it. Okay, well done. A little magic on that. That was a little effortless for you, huh? Okay. All right, Justin.
10, 9,
Your little time.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Let's compete with that, Lynn.
One.
Come on now. What are you doing to the man?
9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts. 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 9 nimble noblemen nibbling nuts.
All right.
He did good. I think
yeah,
he
he
did it with the
did.
speed.
I feel like this was a very close one. And I can't even call it. So we might have to just weigh this one a little bit in the court of the Pod Poets Lounge. So you think he had the speed, and I think I counted 6. So even though you tripped up on the last few of the last attempt, I think you may have done 6 instead of 5. But here we are. Yeah. So Lynn, you thought the speed was faster?
I mean, I could be wrong.
Okay. All right. So I like this. I like weighing it out, and I'm gonna lean towards Lynn, and I'm gonna give it to Justin because, like I said, sometimes when I do this, I only have 2 ears, but if I could have more ears additional, it'd be great for something like this. And sometimes the folks in the chat will help me to determine, who gets it. So, Lynn, you were kind of the guest, and you were my support system with the. Does that make sense? How you help me out with this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, appreciate that. Puts you, Lynn, at 8 points, and Justin also at 8 points. I want to shift a little bit though, to talk a little bit about what you guys do, how you got into what you do, the different facets and the many things that you get into. But we'll start out, I guess, real simply with how your day's going. What's on your mind.
Okay, I'll kick it. Let me see. The day's going well so far. It's let me see. It's Sunday, so coming out the holidays, I've been down for at least like before the weekend, and probably like the last week I've been down, a little sickness or whatever it is. I don't know.
Going around, man.
Getting back to it, was able to get out and work out yesterday for the first time in a minute. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Just kicking it with my wife, spending time, and
yes. It's a beautiful thing, man. Happy that you recovered. That's what's up. Feeling like yourself, doing your thing. What's going on with you, Lynn? What's on your mind? How's your day going?
I'm with him. I think I was a little under the weather. Like, I feel better now.
Okay.
But
Did you have to do something? How did you get better? Did you drink some tea? How did you do it?
I actually took some Dayquil and NyQuil religiously since Friday.
Okay.
And then I finally got up, and I got some coffee. I ate something. I did go out, but I didn't really have an appetite. And then I got up and got some tea. And then I finally was able to get up and move around, but I had to make myself get up. I finally did take something else.
Okay.
And, hydrate myself.
Yes, absolutely important, for real. Hydrating myself right now. Yeah, similarly, just kind of moving through the day. Had a chance to kick it with a friend of mine today, just before the show. I wanted to know, what is your poetry origin story? Like, let's say with you, Lynn, how did you get started in poetry?
I would say my story is probably through school, because in school,
Okay.
it's something that
Mm-hmm.
they make you do. Like, if you take
Mm-hmm.
English, they kind of, say, oh, write a poem about this. Or I suppose that you learn different types of poetry.
Uh-huh.
And at
Right.
some point find out that you can write. I mean, you might have been writing sentences before that, but
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know what type, like sonnets or haikus. Like, I can
Yes.
remember, my earliest memory is probably like the teacher saying, write a haiku about yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Clap your hands.
I see.
7 syllables.
Okay.
Like something like that.
And how about you, Justin? What does your origin poetry story look like?
Golly. Okay, so I don't want to start rambling, so I apologize if it sounds like that. But
Are you good?
so it was probably like I mean, I'd always like kind of written poetry whenever I was like feeling something or like going through
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
usually like depressing, then I would just write. That would help me. And so I was
Okay.
going through those times probably back in like 2008, 2009. I had a lot going on in my life, and so I was writing a lot. And I was
I
living
see.
downtown at the time, and I had one of my friends come over, one of my friends from college, and I just had like all my notebooks and stuff just kind of like laying around. And he was
Mhm.
like, "Yo, man, I didn't know you wrote poetry." And I'm like, "Yeah, every now and then, whenever I feel like it or whatever." And
Mhm.
and so maybe like a couple months after that, he hit me up and was like, "Yo, man, I got a friend who he's putting on a poetry show, and everybody who said they were gonna perform bailed on him. So will you come and spit some of your poems or whatever?" And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." And he was telling me the show was like the day of, so I wrote something while I was at work and tried to memorize it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got on stage that night, and like I said, I thought I had it memorized or whatever, but I got on stage and forgot everything. I somehow
Okay.
finished the poem, but I felt like I made an ass out of myself. And so that was like my first time on stage, but I knew I could write. I knew I could write, and I wanted to get back on stage, but I didn't get back on stage till like maybe like almost 2 years after that. Like in between that time, I had found, my mom was going through my house, and like how like your mom be cleaning stuff up, and once you leave the house or whatever, try to give you all your old shit that you don't want or whatever. So so she had given me like all this stuff like from when I was in like middle school or whatever, and then I found like these 2 poetry books that I had turned in, poems I guess I typed up and whole bunch of them, and I had tied them together on the ends with shoelaces, and that's what I turned in to my teacher.
Made it official. Okay.
I went through those, and I'm like, damn, these are pretty good. I googled the poems to see like if they were already written, just to make sure I had written them, because I thought they were pretty good. Like, for like a 13-year-old. And so after that, I'm like, man, I've been doing this. Let me try to write and get back on stage and see what I can do. And so I just started hitting open mics after that, and it's grown into a business now. So
No doubt. And that business that you mentioned, would that be All Smilez?
yeah, it's All Smilez. So that's pretty much like the media company that just houses my work.
Okay.
My book, the podcast, the shows that we do, the hosting gigs and performances,
Fantastic.
and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's what's up. So fast forward to now, after this sort of being the background in how you've been crafted as a poet. How would you describe your poetic style in 3 words?
My performance style in 3 words, I would say.
Not performance. not performance, poetic style?
Well, even the style itself, I'm gonna say that it's performative.
Okay.
I'll say that.
And I see that with you.
I'll say performative. I'll say authentic, because actually I want to explain right now. Performative, authentic, and motivational. Not only for like the audience, because it's not always like I'm writing like motivational stuff, but like but just for me to write it and get it out sometimes, it just motivates me to do more. So I said I wasn't going to explain, then I started explaining, but yeah.
Well, the explanation is good, and it really gives color and context to the question that I asked to help us understand you. I when I see you perform as well, I like performative. I see that. I definitely see that. Your movement, you have a sort of like a natural animation about you that seems woven into your cadence. So it comes in the delivery. I want to ask that same question to you, Lynn. When you think about yourself and how you've developed, what would you describe as your poetic style in, say, three words?
Expressive.
Okay.
Eclectic, and deep.
Okay. When you say expressive, can you elaborate on that just a bit?
I would say probably expressive because I feel that sometimes my poetry say what others are thinking.
Okay. I've got you. Thank you. And it's interesting that you touch on that, how poetry and its relationship to how people connect, right? And communicate, whether we're giving or receiving. I have this question for the both of you. So Lynn, what is one of your favorite things about sharing your art with others?
Their reaction.
Do you find yourself looking for a particular reaction?
Yes, because I believe that there is a such thing as expectation and reality. I believe that we all could think that we're the bomb. We all should. You'd be like, yeah, man, my work is dope. But I think it's something different when somebody gives you that same energy or response. Like, wow, that was really dope or touching.
Okay.
You may get a lot of different things from the crowd.
How about you, Justin? Same question.
I'm gonna say making that connection, and it can be made like in different ways, especially obviously when you're performing and you in the zone, like you in it, you with a good crowd, the audience is into it and they hanging on to every word. There's like same as even though it's you performing, it's a conversation, like a back and forth that's happening. Like you giving it to them and they giving you the energy right back. But that connection's also made in writing sometimes, where sometimes if you write and you get in the zone and you be like, okay, I know that's gonna hit. Or you just write something and you might not even want to perform it, but you just write something that you feel close to. You can make that connection there. And then even after the performance, if someone comes up to you and is like, yo, I really felt that, or, I've been thinking the same thing. Any type of connection like that is to me, like, that's what it's all about.
No doubt. I can dig it. Do either one of you have a poem ready that you might be able to share right now?
All right. I got y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm starting now. Have you ever been accused of doing too much? When you walk into a room, do people instantly gravitate to you? People are attracted to your light, kind of like how bugs are attracted to light bulbs. They just can't look away. All of a sudden, you start to hear people whispering this shit. Then somebody says, who does he or she think she is? I am the shit that is. The sugar honey iced tea that you love getting from your favorite fast food place. Don't worry. It's not you. It's them. Jealousy is a hard trait to hide because no matter how hard you try, it always finds a way to make an appearance. As a matter of fact, doing too much is what I specialize in. It's the simple fact that I know that when I arrive, the party is just getting started. I can tell that you have not been happy with yourself for a very long time. It is evident that you have not matured enough to understand that it takes a humble soul to realize when the flowers don't grow anymore. Your sunlight has stopped shining and everyone is starting to notice but you. Maybe one day I'll teach you how to do too much and show you why I stomp my feet and clap my hands every time the Lord blesses me. The end.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, you mean sometimes people don't know just how blessed you are or just how much you appreciate your blessings. And then sort of like that's what energizes you. That's what fuels you. Is the kind of life you live. What inspired that piece, Lynn? And thank you for sharing that, by the way.
No problem. For me, and we talked about, this prior, but I think like when you have a big energy or big personality, you may have people or heard other people tell people like, oh, they doing too much. And then, or you get the compliment, I wish I could be like you. And at times you have to ask yourself, are they like hating or whatever? But I just know that when people gravitate to you, when you walk in a room, I know for sure the party has just begun. So to me, just thinking of that is what inspired that.
Okay. Can dig it. I liked, what did you think of that piece, Justin? Get your input on it.
I like that piece. It made me think, when you were talking about how like people would tell people like they doing too much. It's like sometimes it's almost like people telling somebody else to turn their light down. It's like people gotta be themselves. People gotta be who they are, no matter how big that might be, or little that might feel somebody else, or how you might, even if it's not your thing, you still gotta let that person be. So I like the perspective.
Yeah, no doubt. She as he mentioned light. I think you had a line in the beginning, right? Attracted to your light.
Yeah.
People could be attracted. I also like the line where you mentioned humble soul to realize. I forget what you said after that, but humble soul to realize things don't grow no more, something like that.
Yes, I said, it takes a humble soul to realize when the flowers don't grow anymore, and ultimately, like what I mean about that is that, I'm speaking about depression. Like I think that when somebody's depressed, there's something that part of you is like dying or wilting, and in order to come out of that, whether that may be medication, that may be something that wakes the flowers up again. But I feel like you have to recognize that. Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate that, definitely. And I just thought how deep it was, and that was one of the words you used to describe your style. So I think you have a piece for us, right, Justin?
Yeah, I got something for us.
Okay. All right. Do this right. Whenever you're ready.
Let me see. This is something that I just wrote that I haven't revisited. So I'm not sure how it's going to come out, but whatever. We'll see.
Okay.
Right. So this is a Black love poem.
All right.
if you've spent time in America, you're probably under the impression that white people hate black people. That's not the case. It's actually quite the opposite. White people love everything about black people, not just our culture, not just our style, not just our dialect, but literally everything black. Anytime white people want to exhibit their highest form of prestige, from ballrooms to funerals, they're always wearing black. From football fields to basketball courts, I've never seen white men get more excited about anything like the gleam in their blue-green eyes when they watch sweaty black men play with big brown balls. White men love objects that are long and black or brown. What makes a white man feel more superior than when he's riding in the shiniest, blackest, longest limo he can find? Or when he wants to feel like a boss? What makes him feel better than sucking the life out of a thick, long, brown cigar? If only the inhalation could give him a teaspoon of pigment. You might have been taught through subliminal messaging that your black skin is hated. But you were never taught how white people spend hours in the sun or in tanning salons risking skin cancer, hoping their red sunburns somehow turn to black skin. The lip injections, the butt injections, original soul music. Imitation has always been the highest form of flattery. Even white Jesus died at the hands of a brown phallus some call a cross. Because ultimately, it's the black and brown reproductive organs that produce color that eradicates white. So white people created long black barrels known as guns to eradicate you. Consequently, the only way to mend this tumultuous relationship between black and white is for all black people to band together and have sex with as many white people as possible before they all shoot us down. And that's my poem about black love.
That had to be one of the dopest poems I've heard in life.
Don't hype me, Lynn. Don't hype me.
That poem took me places. It took me places, man.
I was like, first of all, that's not the black love I was thinking about.
It's not the black love most people are thinking about.
Yeah, I like the play on that. I like that play on that. It's the love of black things. It's not the black love that we've popularized today when we're talking about black people in relationships with one another.
Hey, Justin, you know what?
Wow.
When we get off of here, right, we got to talk because I actually just finished the English 2 class. And I just read 2 poems, right, where they actually talked about the opposite, where they talked about, like, the same premise about, like, what if, things were all black and all, all black. Yeah, they both did. And it was kind of the same premise, but it wasn't like that. But it was like the same kind of thing.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I want to hear the poems you read.
Yeah, so I had to touch base with you to let you hear them because it was just, that's kind of where they were going.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting for sure. I love when poets connect, yo. I really do. It's one of my favorite things to see happen on the show. So your poem was deep. It was definitely heavy, for different reasons. You know what I mean? You made me think about the book, The Delectable Negro, as you went into the fascination and obsession that predominantly white men, I want to say, as far as what's been in the books that I've read, are caught up in, and the way that all manifests. So I saw how you touched on that. You mentioned the sweaty bodies, and you crafted that nicely, man. I caught those notes in the poem. You also made me think about Frances Cress Welsing, ISIS Papers. So you had a lot of things for me that really resonated with some of the things information I've come across. I really appreciated the stitching together too of the different thoughts and ideas around racism, how racism works, the way we see it manifest in our subconscious, even though it's right in our faces, but the archetypal ways, the subconscious ways we are pulled by the strings of our circumstance, which is that I'm saying we, but the evidence for the domination of non-white people by those who consider themselves white really plays out. I thought you captured it well, man. Nice piece. Nice poem, bro.
Thank you, man.
The last part, though. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you about to say?
Yeah, that last part was what? That was a twist for me. Is to have sex with as many white people as we can before I guess before something happens. You said, right? Before
they shoot us off.
Before they shoot us off. Interesting thing to ponder. I didn't see that coming though.
But it's funny that you mentioned ISIS paper because that was like, that's like the inspiration behind the whole piece. Like after reading those things, and as she's talking about like the subconscious subliminal messaging that's there, but it's never really brought to light. I mean, Malcolm X talked about this stuff, like when he was giving his speeches, he would talk about how like white people would like stay in tanning salons and stay in the sun just to get their skin darker. But I think she takes it even deeper when she's talking about she's talking about sports and how the sports that black men dominate are big brown balls, but sports that white men dominate is like a small little golf ball. I was just weird stuff that like normal people wouldn't put together. But I don't know. I don't know if that's like taboo to talk about on podcasts. I don't want to get you canceled before before you make it big. So I don't even know.
Well, my podcast is for poets, and you're a poet. I've invited you on, and there's a portion of the show where we just have conversation, and you can spit your poem about what's on your mind. It could be as long or as short as you want. I've had conversations like this on my podcast. I like having these kinds of conversations. It to me, it breaks through. Think of it. You ever put a spoonful of something good in your mouth? Like it's a little crunchy, it's a little sweet. There's a little bit of acid in there. It's so. What I'm saying is, you are good. You are good. In fact, I like ventilating. I like ventilating these subjects for sure when I have the opportunity to. But yeah, it's about balance. At the end of the day, I felt like that piece was really dope. I saw where it was coming from. I saw the connections. I always think it's commendable when poets are willing to do that, like talk about these things, bring their philosophy as well into their art, bring their vision of how the world can be into their art and their expression. So I'm all for it, and I appreciated that very much. The explanation, the breaking down, and just sharing that piece. For real. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for your feedback. I haven't. That's the first time I've shared that with people, and so I haven't taken it to the stage yet. So thank both of y'all for giving me confidence to take it from the page to somewhere else.
Yeah, no doubt. I could definitely talk to you more though about this. It's it's something I could go into even more with you about. Like I said, especially the last part of that piece. I think that's a whole nother conversation. But definitely, my big up, y'all. Respect for that one there. Yeah. So switching gears a little bit, I had another question. It's about completely different. It's about your biggest failure and what you learned from it. Lynn, question for you: your biggest failure and what you learned from it.
I think it's real personal, but
as whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
You know what? No, listen. I mean, at this point, it is what it is.
Talk about it.
I think my biggest failure was probably like repeating the same cycle that my mom did, because my mom had me young, right? Like at 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And why I didn't have my daughter at 13, 14, I didn't know my dad because my dad was older than my mom. And so being as though like I wasn't probably married or something like that, and I didn't have a relationship with her dad, she does not have one with him. And I think that was probably my biggest failure.
Okay.
I would say what I learned from it was probably providing for her so that that part is not a void. I mean, you know,
Okay.
of course, my hope is for her to have a relationship one day. But I still feel like not to make her feel like, you know, she loses anything. I know that they say like a 2-parent home is the only way to raise a kid and things like that. But you do what you could do.
Right.
Because you got people that got 2-parent homes and still have
A lot of dysfunction. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. I appreciate that, Lynn. And when you think about that for yourself, Justin, I'm not exactly sure how old you are, but just when you think up until now, challenges that you've come across, what's been the biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
So before I answer this, Naquel, if you don't mind, I want to touch on what Lynn was just talking about.
Sure. Yes.
Just because my wife is pregnant right now, and so I have a
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And so, you know, I mean, and I mean, she's about to pop. I mean, we're getting pretty close, but like just being there with her through the journey of a woman being pregnant. And I mean, let me give this context. Both of my sisters are single mothers. So like, I've seen it, like, you know, like I've seen women raise children and, you know, it's just fine. But like seeing her, just being there with her, like every step of the way, like from, you know, when we first found out she was pregnant up until now, I can't imagine her having to, like, I mean, I'm sure, like, I'm probably overplaying my part in it because she's having the baby. But I can't imagine, like, me not being around to help her with certain things, or like just for her to go through the pregnancy alone. I think that would be hard. And not saying that you did or whatever, but it's just like a whole. Like I said, we haven't even had the baby yet, but I already have a whole different respect for what women have to go through to carry a child, but at the same time, still keep your life going in the process. Like, I'm sure in a perfect world, you would want to just sit back, be pregnant, let everybody else take care of everything. But, you know, that's not always the case. So I just want to commend you for just raising your daughter and continue doing that, because women are aliens. Thanks for music.
Well, I agree with you, man. I think that we should uplift women, and sometimes we don't really recognize how much they do, and we do take them for granted. No question. So I always love and appreciate when brothers see that, when others see that, and they go about their business of encouraging and empowering our women. They are vital. So rock on. You know what I'm saying?
But so to answer your question, I'll say, and I don't know if it's necessarily, well, I consider it a failure, but so I used to quit a lot of things. Like the first thing I quit kind of early on in life was soccer. I was really good at soccer, but I quit because I wanted to play basketball, because basketball players got chicks, and I'm like, I want to be cool. Okay. But, you know, that's not always, you know, the best decision. So even like starting that process, in college I wanted to be a music executive. That was my thing. So I got an internship with the radio station, and I quit after a couple weeks just because I wasn't 21 and they wouldn't let me into a party that I helped set up for. I thought it was, I mean, which is like, they want to protect themselves legally. So of course they don't want me in there. But to me, I was like, what the heck? And I remember like I couldn't get in the party. I went home that night and I quit the internship. I decided I wanted to be a basketball head coach. That was my dream at one point. So I was a manager. I became manager of the basketball team at Georgia State. And I quit that just because I had to wash the basketball players' clothes. I'm like, for some reason I thought like that was like beneath me or something. And I'm like, I can't do that. That was like my pushing point. I hadn't it's not like I had achieved anything in life to that point. Like, I don't know why I wasn't willing to do that. So it's just like little things that I've quit in life that have kind of stuck with me. But what I learned from that was, now I'm like more adamant about sticking things out no matter what it is. So I mean, even poetry, like performing, being an artist, it has its ups and downs, but I want to be consistent. I want to be persistent. So I continue at it, and I'm adamant about not quitting through whatever's going on in my life. I want to continue getting better and continue being the best spoken word artist that I can be. Even, in my relationship, like it's gotten hard at times. Me and my wife have gone through it, but I'm adamant about like trying to figure out a way to make it work for both of us. Not just for it to work, but for us to thrive. I want to figure out how to continuously make the relationship better and not be so quick to give up. And so, that's my thing now.
That's a great thing, man. It really, really is. It does take work. Relationships do take work. As you clearly stated, man. So that's good to hear for sure, man. I can relate. I've been at points myself, my own breaking points, and had to just really reflect and think about why I was in the situation where I was in, that I had put myself in, to be honest about that, and then decide where I wanted to go next. What my next move was going to be, and be very intentional about that move. And one of those things that happened with me is, just to share a little bit about myself, is some relationships in my personal life were getting fractured, and I could see the fractures. And some of it was just because of it's not quite tunnel vision, because you can see what's going on around you, but to some extent you're kind of caught up in what is going on more so with yourself. And so those around you, around me, suffer because of it. But I've recognized that, and definitely make those steps towards healing those fractures. And I think that's an important thing for sure. In what you said, and what we got to learn from these experiences is what we do differently. And taking that time to see, okay, where we can improve and learn. I wanted to ask you, Lynn, a little bit about your businesses, and for you to just tell us a little bit about your podcast as well that you started, and let folks know where they can find you and check out the podcast.
Yeah, so currently I have two. One is my book, which I started, Kissed by Red Publishing, LLC, in February of 2020. The project had started before that, but by the time the pandemic rolled around, which was right before the pandemic, it may appear that it just rolled out like, oh, this was a pandemic thing, which it wasn't. Because that was the time that everybody took to figure out what they like to actually do. The other part of that is, and the book is called Dark Past and Bright Future. And it's a collection of short stories about people who experienced trauma and how they got past their dark point and found their bright future. The
love
second,
that.
which was my first original business, was Maverick Six Business Consultant, which is a business management consultant firm. And when we first started, it was more or less like I want to help small business owners create systems or, build systems within their businesses, because I always assumed that, like, in the past, before being a business owner, I believe that poor management comes from not having systems or effective systems.
Okay.
But since then, I've moved into more customer service because I think that that's where the help is needed most.
Gotcha. Awesome. What's the website for Maverick Six? See, I think it's Maverick Six, right? Maverick and then SIX. .com.
It's www.maverick MAVERICK.com, and the book Dark Past and Bright Future is www.KISSBYBYRED Publishing PUBLISHING.com.
All right, great. And can you tell us a bit about the podcast as well?
Yes. So after being on Naquel's Poet Lounge, I actually did more research about podcasts. Wondering like if I wanted to do a video one, which I think is more new and recent, but I wanted to keep it classic and do more audio because I felt like it gave the radio show vibe.
Okay.
Person calling in, and I think you get more imagery when you're listening to something because you're wondering what they're doing. What is their reaction? And then I think you have to use more senses when you're listening to something. When you take away, now I think with visual, you have to listen and you have to look. So that just is my view on it. But it's called On the Fence with Business. And the reason why I chose that name was because I felt like when somebody is a new business owner or they're, existing, but strictly for new business owners, most people are on the fence with starting the business.
Very true.
Should I start one? Why should I start one? They go and do all this research before they actually do it. Now it's like, do I have the finances to do it? So there's a lot of on the fence with decisions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that same thing spills into people who are existing business owners. Like there's a lot of on the fence with decisions. Should we close? Especially with the pandemic. Should we close? Should we stay open? Can we afford to stay open? And I think the last part of that is definitely, pardon me. I think the last part of that is that at any point you could be back on that fence where you started.
Very good points here. So these are the kind of conversations that you're having with your guests, and when does it come on?
Well, I actually was doing it on Thursdays weekly, and then I actually ended with the last episode actually last Thursday, and I got actually 8 episodes to date.
Okay.
But from 1 through 6, I actually interviewed various entrepreneurs from all different types of industries. My first guest initially is a graphic designer. My second guest, was an insurance adjuster, like public adjuster. My third one was a web designer, artist. The fourth actually is a therapist, and he helps people get medical marijuana cards because he believes that that's a gateway to healing. 5, he wrote a book, and he's a real estate agent.
Okay.
6 actually is a female, which is our only female guest, who actually had 2 locations that were eyeglass, ophthalmologist clinic.
Okay.
And she had been doing it since high school. My last 2 episodes were just individual episodes with just me. and one was talking about like follow-up, you know, the intake.
Okay.
To having one, and then loyalty programs. And my closing one was talking about reviews and just kind of where I'm going with 2022. I do have a couple guests lined up, you know, coming up. So
it sounds very exciting, like something folks should absolutely be tuning into if they want to learn about starting a business and they have those kinds of questions. If they're trying to pivot in an existing business and they have these types of questions and need direction, just tell us real quick, how long have you been providing these services?
Actually since 2019, June of 2019. Actually prior to that, but I would say more or less legitimizing it. That's what, you know, I decided to actually go through with it. Like I had a, I guess, fork in the road, and I had to just make that decision, like on the fence of business. I had to come to a part where I had to decide what my next move was going to be. And that's really actually where I felt like I had to go ahead and just go in and do what I was going to do. And something unique about the show before I move on is, one of the questions that I always ask all the guests is, what is something about either business or in life that they were on the fence on? Sometimes it get people hung up a little bit. Some people can answer, but usually there's a little thought that's put into it.
Got you. That's, I think, just shows the passion that you have for doing this, and giving business owners an opportunity to reflect. It sounds like a great show. It really does, and it's right here as well. It's hosted on Podbean, which is our home hosting podcast network as well. And I just salute as well. You know, congratulations. Just much encouragement for the podcast as it continues to grow. Yeah, I know you'll be helping out a lot of people. So for you that are listening, make sure you check it out. We have a good amount of time left that we're going to be able to get the next round in. But Justin, you are doing some other things off stage that I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about. You're so dynamic, man. So you host as well. I was reading your bio and I was like, oh my gosh, how old is this brother? You're just already like so energetic and doing quite a bit. You host at the Urban Grind Coffee House. Question about that. How do you keep your hosting skills sharp? And what is one of your audience pet peeves?
Okay, so I am the host at Urban Grind, but they have shut down their live shows, which they started that early kind of March 2020. So I hosted every other Thursday. I hosted their online open mic throughout the week. And then I have a show that I do that's live. It's called Soul Therapy Poetry Show, which I host as well. But when it comes to hosting, I like it because it's kind of more really. Well, you asked me how I get my hosting, how I keep my hosting skills sharp.
Yeah.
And really, the only way to do that is to continue doing it. So it's like the more you do it, the more you know what to expect. And then I've hosted a lot of different type of shows, so that's given me a lot of experience. But I like it because you kind of, as to when I'm performing, you know, I go on stage and I know what I'm gonna say for the most part. I don't always know how it's gonna go, but I know what I'm gonna say. I know the stories I'm gonna tell. But when it comes to hosting, it's like, you know, you go up there with what you have, but you have to take a lot as it comes. And what happens in the room, you try to capture that and put that into whatever you're doing.
Experience.
So to answer your question, the only way that I know to keep my skills sharp is just continue doing it. And luckily, I've been able to do that over the last couple of years.
All right, and what would you say is one of your audience pet peeves?
My audience pet peeves.
As a host, yeah.
I'm not.
If you have any, you might not have any.
I'm not sure the audience pet peeves, but I'll tell you mine. And that's when somebody dominates the mic like if I'm running an open mic, and especially if and listen, I'm not trying to be a talent scout. I'm not even, I don't feel like I'm the best. I'm not the end all be all to critique people. But if you're not good and you get on stage and you feel like, just because, poetry and spoken word, it's like, it's kind of nice. Like, it's not like comedy, like where if you do bad, like people are going to boo you or, not laugh and just make you
Yeah,
like,
true. It's not judged like that, yeah.
Poetry is really nice. You can get off in it and people are going to make you feel good about the little poem that you read last week. But sometimes, like, that backfires. You make somebody feels good, and now they're up there talking, and they feel like the show is theirs now. I'm like, come on, bro. So that's
funny.
That's my pet peeve. Like,
I appreciate that. And then real quick, if you could just, because I again, you're an author as well, right? And you wrote Poetry for the Hopefully. Is that the correct title? Poetry for the Hopefully. Can you tell us quickly where folks can find it? What was the inspiration behind it? And what we can find in it? Just maybe a couple ideas of what we can get in that.
You can get it through my website at iamjustinpatton.com. Where you can find it on, just go to my Instagram. There's a link in my bio. You can just click the link and you can get my book from there.
Okay.
And what was your other question?
What's in it and the inspiration behind it, why you wrote it?
Well, the inspiration behind it was like I had written a lot of poems at the time.
Okay.
I always wanted to be an author. I always wanted to put out a book. And,
all right.
I had like a lot of poems, and I'm like, I want to do something with these.
Yeah.
The girl I was dating at the time was like, these are pretty good. You should put them in a book. I'm like, you think they'd be that good? She's like, yeah, you should, at least try and see what happens. And so, so I did just that. So,
okay.
So the book is broken up into 3 parts. The first part is Irony for the Hopefully, which is, they're kind of like funny poems. And then Reality for the Hopefully, which poems that are like touching on real issues. And then Love for Everyone, and it's pretty much love poems, not necessarily all like romantic love. There's a little bit of that romance love, but it's some black love, some self love, and things like that. So, but the main thing behind it is like, I feel like if most people believe in God, whatever you want to call him, most people call him the creator. And if you feel like we're made in his image, then we're all creators to a certain extent. So I feel like with that being said, a lot of people, know their own creativity. And so doing something like reading poetry a little bit each day will help people be creative in their own lives. So just like, going in the gym, if you want to lift weights and not be sore every day, then you got to stay doing it consistently. If you want to be a runner, then you got to get out every day, do it a little bit. You'll be a better runner. So the same thing with like creative endeavors. I feel like you need to undertake something creative, whether it's reading poetry or maybe writing something, to help kind of jog your own creative muscles. And,
right.
So that's the inspiration behind it.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Again, those listening, please be sure to check out this content, check out the book. And are you still doing the lives now? The hosting, on the virtual platform? Is that still happening now?
So it's going on now. I took a break from it, but my co-host, who does it every other Thursday that I'm not doing, is still doing it.
Okay.
So you can see that on Urban Grind, but I'm bringing back my live show February. So
okay.
In that monthly.
All right, that's what's up. We'll be locked in and looking out for that. So I want to go ahead and get into our final round of the game here. We had the pleasure of checking out these earlier categories. Guess it in a minute. We had the tongue tangle battle. I also had the listen, where I'm going to play a series of sounds. You need to be listening to what I'm reading as well as the sounds. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. These sounds could be kind of distracting, or perhaps what I'm reading will be distracting. Either way, Good luck. So here we go. I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit more. This landmark book is a founding work in the literature of Black protest. W.E.B. Du Bois played a key role in developing the strategy and program that dominated early 20th century Black protests in America. Okay. Your question is, whose name did I mention in this reading?
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yep. This is going to be who says it first. Okay. What was do you remember the last word that I said? Was it advanced, together, America, or protest?
Protest.
America.
America is correct.
Ah!
What sounds did you hear? Anybody?
Bird.
Whoever says the correct one first. There was no bird.
Water.
I just heard you talking.
Rock.
Water. You got it. Water. Okay.
I heard some rocks falling. Or some
Okay.
animals.
It was the end. Okay. So you did get that first sound, the water when it's submerged.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. At any point in my reading, did I use the word oppression?
No.
No, I did not. Correct. You got it, Justin. All right. So let's see here. I think we're going to end it right there and tally up the scores. Give me a moment. Okay, we do have a winner by 2 points. Justin coming in at 15 points. Congratulations, sir. You are the winner of the Sport Trivia game here for episode number 3. Very well done. It was a close game in the beginning, but you edged out here towards the end. Congratulations, well played. And as mentioned earlier, you're going to be featured in Spilled Ink inside of the Ink magazine. That is going to be in January, so look out for that as well. Shout out to CompuFix Solutions. They'll be providing our consolation prize to Lynn Denise. She can redeem that, so just look out for the email and take advantage of any of their IT services. So yeah, once again, well played, guys. Congratulations. Very nicely done. There are a couple more things to do as we wrap up. One of those things is to add a line to this poem. I started a group poem where I've been getting a line from each of the guests that appear on the show to add a line to the poem. And the poem theme is collaboration. So far I have, I'll share it here actually with what I have so far. And then I would ask Lynn Denise to please add a line. So these are the poets, and that's the line that they provided. It went, the lines we make together will last forever. Collaborate to elevate, collaborate to congratulate, spread more love and not hate, and that'll lead our people to heaven's gate. It takes more than two to leave these lines behind. And now, Lynn, you can add the next line to the rhyme. If you want it to rhyme, you don't have to, obviously. And you can start thinking of your line, or maybe, I don't know. Can you start thinking of your line already, Justin? Or do you have to wait to see what she creates and then base your line off hers?
Yeah, I was going to base my line off hers, honestly.
All right. Can dig it. Put something together for us, Lynn? I think she's on mute.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
I was actually typing, so I couldn't go back.
Okay. All right. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Put that magic on it. I know you will. The lines we make together will last forever. Collaborate to elevate. Collaborate to congratulate. Spread more love and not hate. And that'll lead our people to heaven's gate. It takes more than two to leave these lines behind. It's like every time I read this poem that's been created so far, I always feel like adding something to it. Something always comes to me. What is sad is at times people don't think it takes time. Let me see. You can you say it for me, Lynn?
Yes. What it's supposed to say? Hold on. I don't even know if am I unmuted?
Yes, you're unmuted. I can hear you.
Okay. What it's supposed to say is, if I read it together, the lines we make together will last forever. Collaborate to elevate. Collaborate to congratulate. Spread more love and not hate. And that'll lead our people to heaven's gate. It takes more than two to leave these lines behind. What's sad is at times people don't think it takes time to shine, but together we can shine.
True indeed. I shared something today that said the fastest way to get somewhere is slowly.
Indeed. So you just have to take the will part out because it's supposed to say, well, we will shine.
We will shine. Okay. Yeah, for real.
Which you adding it in?
Me? Or I've got it added here. Let me share it in the chat. There you go, Justin. Okay.
I just added mine as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll put it together here.
Oh, even though I kind of made a typo, but I think you can see where I'm going with it.
Together, we are divine, or all divine, should I say? Or
yes. Together, we are all divine.
All God's children, the image of the Most High, shining our light to inspire others to shine brighter. No doubt. So put on the light in the ear. All right. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Definitely building this group poem. I want to see what that end vibe is like, you know? When you get all these souls coming together in one piece like this. Only here on the Pod Poets Lounge. Now, I had some requests because I wanted to get your final thoughts on things. If there's anything that we've talked about that you want to leave the listeners with, please share it, and also just let us know how we can stay in touch with you and your work. We can start with you, Lynn.
My final thoughts. Oh, I was asking, are we doing one more poem?
Oh, did you? Let's see. We might have time. We got about 6 minutes, so we can. I think we can squeeze it in. It depends. How long is it?
It's not long at all.
Okay, so hit us with it.
Okay. All right. It's called "I Want My Flowers Now." I want my flowers now, not on my wedding day, not on my birthday, not on my casket. As a matter of fact, why do I have to wait until I die or give my flowers or give my life away to get my flowers? I want my flowers now, not because you thought of me, not because I received a standing ovation, not because I gave birth. I want daisies, not roses, because they remind me of how deep words can cut like thorns. Tell me how I changed your life in life, not death. I want my eulogy now so I can dress in my best. So you won't F around and put me in that outfit that I would never wear in life. Because I won't be able to rest. I want my flowers now.
Me too. I want mine now. Yeah. So, Justin, you got a short piece that we might be able to get in there?
I don't know if I really got a short piece. It might take us over time. So I think we all want our flowers now while we can smell them. So I think we can end it at that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's a beautiful final thought. Let's all see what we can do. That's going to be the call to action. See what we can do to get those that we care and love their flowers now. So there was a lot of dope lines. I can't even pull one line from, the amount of art that was shared, but just salute. And again, thank you to these amazing poets for blessing the space. We love and support poets here, so thank you guys for doing what you do. The call to action, I would say, for today is also to check out the launch of our t-shirt collection, because the creativity is flowing. You can check it out on Etsy and give some feedback on the style, the price, the design. You can DM your feedback. That's fine. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the podcast when it drops. And of course, support today's guests. Enough respect for the vibe. You can email the podpoetslounge@gmail.com for everything. And you can come and play live Sunday, January 9th. Big up to our guests once more. The pleasure is evidenced by the smile on my face, because I really did have an absolutely great time with y'all tonight. Please stay safe, stay positive, and take good care. Peace.